discussion about Caleb Williams yesterday, whether they should trade up for the number one pick. He's a polarizing guy. Just checking out kind of the social media reaction.
Yep.
Mike Marr's been putting up videos on our YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page at 1067 The Fan, and one of them has to do with Caleb Williams. And you just get a lot of comments like, no. A lot of people are worried about trading up because of the RG3 deal.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would trade up.
You got to get over the ghosts of the past.
No, I would trade up if you're convinced he is the real deal. He's as advertised. Of course. I would totally do it. If you're convinced. And I would, I thought I approved of the RG3 deal at the time. Just didn't work out.
Right. Well, we all did.
You got to swing. It
was just a big whiff.
If you think it's the right guy.
Their number 2 picks the last 11 years, 12 years. They've had 2 of them. Mm-hmm. They both whiffed big time.
Yeah.
So hopefully this doesn't happen again.
There are still some howlers out there who want Sam Howell to be the quarterback.
I don't believe you.
There's not a ton of them.
I think you're lying.
There are some that want them to build up the offensive line first, and they make the argument. There are even some that say, hey, the Commanders should draft Marvin Harrison Jr., build up the offensive line, and then run it back with Howell, and then see how he fares with a better offensive line and a better receiving core.
I think those people
and then take a chance
are fully insane.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a chance it happens. Here's what Dan Quinn said to our pal Scott Abraham from Channel 7 when asked about Sam Howell specifically. He said, certainly talent is here at quarterback. Going against Sam through this year, and honestly a little bit from last year as well, you knew how talented this player was, the arm talent, the ability to create. And that's what quarterback play is. Off-schedule plays when you can get outside the pocket. Not everything is always clean and where you can go. We're just getting started in the evaluation phase. So when you're putting a whole program together, there's free agency in the draft, and you look at all the things to try to make the team better. But I'm certainly impressed by the competitor that Sam is. That jumped out to me, how tough and competitive he is.
Well, he's played well against him. You've seen it. And certainly he finished the last 7 or 8 games not good. So he looked like a totally different guy, but he clearly has some ability. But I think when you pick number 2 in the draft, and you have 3 quarterbacks that at this point seem to be so highly rated, I think you have to swing for one of them. So I think that's what they'll do. I would be stunned if they did anything otherwise.
Yes.
Unless there was a kind of a third guy, like a fourth guy, that they actually love a lot more and they think can get him a little bit later.
So like a Michael Penix.
Right,
or
or
Bo
Bo
Nix or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at these quarterbacks.
Or J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah,
or
maybe they
like
love everything about one of those guys and say, you know what? Those guys are good, but this guy's basically just as good.
I would be surprised. It's certainly possible.
And then if they did decide to go that route.
But they are not taking Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2.
If they did, I would love it. Because I think he's a 10-year superstar. And then if they could get him, if they could get Marvin Harrison Jr. and then say with the 10th pick, get J.J. McCarthy, and because in their mind J.J. McCarthy is just as good as Drake May or one of these.
Well, you better hit on that guy. Like if you pick Harrison Jr. at 2,
I don't think
and then wait on quarterback.
You mean trade? So you're saying trade the number 2 and
move up to 10 or something and get and take McCarthy just to ensure you get him. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure you get him. Because you never know. That's the problem with trading down is a team could jump up and get.
I was going to say, because if you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2, you don't have the 10th pick.
Did you see the comp yesterday for J.J. McCarthy?
No.
I can't remember who it was from, but it was somebody respected. I should look it up. Said J.J. McCarthy was Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I think he has a lot of good qualities.
Harbaugh said he was the best. Now, of course, he's going to sell his guy, but he said he's the best quarterback in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Well, hasn't he been highly touted his entire career?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But in that offense, what they did was they ran the ball.
Right. If you like a guy who stuffs the ball into the running back's midsection.
Yeah, but when you watch him, you see clearly what a great athlete he is.
You're a very good athlete, yes, no doubt.
Oh, it was Matt Miller. We talked about Matt Miller's draft, his mock draft on ESPN. He said the comps are to Joe Burrow.
Where does he have him going? First round, obviously. If you're comped to Joe Burrow, you're going first round.
Some people think that there'll be 5 quarterbacks in the first round.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's happened.
But see, the
recently.
thing is, you can't bypass a quarterback in this draft and say, all right, we'll go with Hal. And then
I don't think anybody's advocating
And then
that.
hopefully next year, if Hal doesn't work out, hopefully next year we can draft a quarterback.
I don't think anybody's
You have no
advocating
idea where you're going to be drafted.
Only the most diehard and ardent Howell supporters
you can't do
are
that.
in that camp.
I don't think many are. I don't.
It has to be like 5 people.
I like Hal, and I think Hal could play if he was coached up right and you coach, you scheme around him and you give him some talent. But you got to take a swing at one of these guys. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Matt
No
Miller
doubt.
has J.J. McCarthy going 13th to the Raiders. He has Bo Nix going 12th
It's crazy
to the Broncos.
But if
these teams are desperate for
if
quarterbacks.
if you could do it, and I'm sure, but if you love J.J. McCarthy, and it would take some finagling, but if the Martys or whatever and Peters could use their connections, and they could trade up to get the second, don't they have 2 second-rounders?
Yeah,
trade
36
36 and 40 to go up to 10, take Harrison at 2, and take J.J. McCarthy at 10. This guy right here would have a lot of blood flow. I would have a lot of blood flow. I'd have a
You're big on
eggplant.
MHJ.
I'd have a big eggplant in my pants, Cakes.
Okay, but McCarthy, that
Even
better be
bigger
a
if you
hit.
lost 30 pounds, apparently.
Be an inch bigger. Yeah.
A much bigger eggplant.
Yeah.
Eggplant, by the way, is gross as a food.
Oh, I like it.
I like it. You don't like eggplant parm?
Not the biggest fan.
You've ever had a good eggplant
Well,
parm?
there's no chance I would ever order an eggplant parm when I could order a chicken parm, a shrimp parm, a veal parm, and substitute anything in front of parm instead of eggplant.
Well, if you bake it and you bread it and you know it's silly and you put some pasta on it.
I'm gonna have to take your word
No.
for it.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan.
All right, let's go to the phones. Open line Thursday. Your chance to
Can I bring
steer
up
the
something real
show.
quick?
Yes.
Sure, hold on a second. Presented by Window Nation. Searching for new windows and doors. Search windownation.com. Their windows are measured to fit the first time and installed by experts to last. Window Nation for your home because it's where you live.
I thought of you, Jason, because my daughter's volleyball team is going to the White House tomorrow.
No.
Because they went undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They won the WCAC championship. They got an invite.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some question as to whether or not they would go, and they decided to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so they're going. And I think
Very
it's very cool. And I know Jason went, and he went when Reagan was there, right? Was it
From
Reagan
Ronald
or Bush?
Reagan, yep.
Yeah.
It was 1980. I guess it was 80.
87, 88?
It was
I've
88.
never been to the White House ever.
We won the city championship.
City title game, right?
City title. We beat Coolidge High School.
Mm-hmm.
And we got invited. Now, my mother had something to do with it. She got us into the White House.
It's good
but
to have connections.
Reagan, the Reagans, Ronald and Nancy were leaving to jump on Air Force One.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not Marine One, the helicopter. And as they were
Came out
walking
and gave
out,
you a moment.
yep, shook all of our hands.
See, that's
Very
what
cool.
I wonder. I'm not sure if Joe B will be there.
Mm.
I assume he will.
Joe Beninati?
Not Joe Beninati.
That's Joe B
I
that I
assume
know.
he'll be there. But anyway, it's an invite. They all get to go there and then take their picture there. I assume in the Rose Garden or wherever you took yours.
Yep, right there.
And it's a very cool thing. So
It's a nice day
congrats to
today,
them.
too, right?
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be
Tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be maybe 60.
Oh, tomorrow's gonna be
I'm
60.
saying today.
Yeah, they're
Today's-
going tomorrow.
Today's gonna be 50ish, and tomorrow's gonna be warmer.
Right.
And
Very
then
cool.
and Saturday's gonna be 65.
Nice.
Little bit of rain in the morning, but very warm.
All right, let's go. Let me see here. Let's go to Matt in Virginia Beach. Matt, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
What's
Hey,
up?
Good.
What's up?
First-time caller, long-time listener. I used to live in Shirlington, condo. Then I moved back to Virginia Beach right around COVID. Originally from down in the 757 area. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Used to-
Thank you, sir.
Do you
I
know
used
the
to have a
DOD
radio,
King?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So I'm a diehard Michigan fan. I love Lurch, because he loves college football. All y'all are great. All y'all are funny.
Thank
But
you. What do you love about EB?
So JJ, if I were all right, so I'm a
You're
diehard
fishing.
Lion fan. Well, that's a whole other discussion. But so the Lion, y'all are at the number 2 pick. I have tons of friends. So I'm in pharmaceutical sales, so all my friends up there are diehard Commander fans.
Isn't that a
and
chick
they're like,
job?
"Do not take a quarterback. Don't take a quarterback." What do we'll get into that later. I would trade back,
it is.
take your 2 pick, number 2. You don't know who's going to be good. None of these guys, aren't. Caleb Williams, there's a reason why Rick Spielman is Rick Spielman. He doesn't have a job. Chris Spielman actually is okay. But my point is this, Jaden, I would not take one of those guys. I would trade back. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a freak. He's like a Calvin, not as good as Calvin, but I'd put him right there behind him. I would trade back and get the 8th pick tackle. You can get Alt from Notre Dame.
I hate your
So who's your quarterback for Washington?
They get JJ, Bo Nix in like the later rounds. JJ's not. JJ has so Harbaugh has his system. They run the ball. They're like the Ravens of NFL, like Michigan is. They're identical. If you watch them, they play defense, they stop the run, and they run the football. JJ has 3 rounds when he can do what he wants to do. He's very, very, very talented. And if you get the right quarterback coach like Kingsbury, we can go up and down on that all day. But I think he has potential. But y'all have so many needs though, and you can just get picks. Like Brad Holmes, he knows. And I think the Lions still have stuff to do, but just trade back and gain picks. You can
All
get.
right, we got it.
But Matt,
he's starting to bounce around everywhere.
Matt, hold
I
on a
hate
second.
his plan.
But Matt, if you think you can trade your picks and trade back, and what if McCarthy's gone? What if Bo Nix is gone? What if they go in the first round? Then what are you doing? What are you doing at quarterback?
You're going to have to get them in the first round. I'm telling you, you're going to have to trade back.
Sam Howell's not terrible. Sam Howell's not terrible. EB, you know that. And I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm not, and I don't think JJ
I think
is
the
going to be gone.
fan base would revolt if they started the season with him with no
it would be ugly.
sort of franchise.
There's no
guy
way that they have a plan to just groom Sam Howell again.
I guarantee you the fan base would rather. Trade back, gain more picks, get an offensive O-line.
No, they
You
wouldn't.
have O-line.
Thank you for the call.
The
but you are
line-
reading
the
the
line-
fan base wrong.
No, you're wrong.
I think you're
bro.
reading it wrong.
Yeah.
And JP, why are you shaking your head at me? I'm telling you, I think pharmaceutical sales is a chick job.
Because I know several males that have that job.
Yeah, but ask them. I bet you I think it's dominated
It
by
might-
females.
It might be majority females.
I
But
think
it
if you
is.
watch
Obviously,
if you watch Dope Sick that was on Hulu about
I
the
haven't seen it.
opioid crisis,
Yeah.
there was a lot of emphasis on, those pharmaceutical companies were sending out hot women
Yes.
to infiltrate doctors' offices and
it's a
influence
hot-
doctors to write a bunch of phony scripts.
It's a hot woman's job.
You're probably right. It's the
Kind of
majority.
is. I think
That's what I've known. I didn't
clearly-
see Dope Sick, but
it's good.
But clearly there are
Suppressing, but
males
it's
that
good.
do it.
Of
Yeah.
56%.
or what?
All right, majority
Yeah.
female.
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's go
But it's
to
not
John.
like 80%.
Let's go to John in Alexandria. John, what's up?
Hey, Jonks, how you doing?
Hello, John.
What's up?
Well, guys, I'm a big fan and first-time caller, so I wanted to let y'all know that we're on the bus, almost headed into downtown Richmond, and going to go lobby a bunch of legislators today to try and stop this arena moving to Alexandria.
Oh.
We've got,
Okay.
we've got former city council people and the mayor of Alexandria, people from D.C., lots of people from the Potomac Yards, Del Rey area. Today's a huge day because the Senate Finance Committee is likely to have a hearing on the bill to create the sports authority. So we're going to go lobby. We're going to make sure that the voices of these folks and the people are heard, and hopefully we can stop this thing in its tracks before it really gets going.
So how many people are on the bus?
We got about 50 people who are going to be in Richmond.
Right.
We have invited people from Richmond and from Roanoke and Charlottesville. I'm not sure how many people will be there. We'll have a rally at noon after we've done some lobbying. The committee hearings later in the afternoon.
Ted Leonsis said,
will Governor Youngkin be there?
Oh, I doubt it. I don't think he'll come around.
Right.
But we're going to do everything we can to stop the Glen Dome.
Uh-huh.
We don't want it in our neighborhood. It's bad
Why?
for everybody.
What's the issue?
We got all kinds of issues. Transportation's a terrible issue. An issue. The bad location. Obviously, we don't need billions of dollars to just help a billionaire's valuation of his teams go up a bit. It's a terrible idea. They need to stay in. The team should stay in D.C. where they belong, and that's what we're going to make sure people from around the
Where do you
Commonwealth have
live
to
in
hear.
proximity to where this thing would be?
I live less than a mile. I walked there this morning before I got on the bus.
Listen, I have some sympathy for you because if I lived around there, I wouldn't want a stadium right there. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But I also understand that Ted has a right to try to put it wherever
And he
can put
doesn't.
it.
And John, you say that they
Well,
belong there, but John,
Ted
that's-
has a right to, but he wants my money and the people of Virginia's money to finance his building.
Yeah.
And the money, so it ain't just him. He has to. He has some accountability.
Ted Leonsis says the die is cast. You guys are trying to change the story.
He is absolutely wrong. We have heard things from legislators that they don't love this either. We don't know what will happen today, but we're going to do our best to stop it from moving past committee.
Are you pondering moving if it is approved?
No, I'm not pondering that.
Okay.
But I am pondering making sure our city council knows that the people don't want it.
Right.
We have an election coming up. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm sure they know
Good for
that.
you. Good for you. I think you
He's
have
making
every
his
right.
voice heard.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Hey, you know what? We did ask people to
We did.
call in if they were heading
Absolutely.
down there.
Right? He's got a right to protest it, of course.
And the analyst did a bunch of interviews yesterday, and he said, I've been hurt, but that's my personality. I'm not your typical average business person. I care what people think. So he's been surprised at the pushback from a lot of people.
Are you welcome to weigh in on that and more? You can talk Super Bowl. You can talk Wizards trade deadline, which is coming up later today. Not the Wizards, just the NBA trade deadline in general. 800-636-1067.
Let me see here. Let's go to Nick in your hood, Lurch. In the burn.
He's in the burn. What's up, Nick?
What's up, Nick?
Hey, fellas. Hey, I was thinking about the San Francisco model, and given that's where Adam Peters was most recently, what's the likelihood he comes in here and says, we missed on Trey Lance. We traded 3 number ones for the opportunity to draft him. But yet, we're winning with a Brock Purdy, the last player chosen in the draft. We've got a strong roster across the board. We've shown, San Francisco that being that we can, that they can win without a prima donna, top 4 or 5 pick at QB. What's the likelihood that Peters comes in here and says, I can try to recreate that here?
I think
10%.
I
I would
that's
be-
trying to
And
thread
take
the
a
needle.
seventh-round
Trying
pick.
to thread the needle too much.
Yeah, 10%
Peters
chance.
realizes that the top quarterback talent is still at the top of the first round. Did they get incredibly lucky by selecting Brock Purdy when they did? Of course, but that's not happening every single year.
And
can't
Nick,
bank
and
on
Nick
that. You
also
can't bank on it.
and Nick also remember they brought in Cliff Kingsbury. They're not bringing Kingsbury in to work with a 3rd or 4th round quarterback or Sam Howell. They're bringing him in specifically to work with a quarterback they draft very high.
Kingsbury said that Mahomes and Caleb Williams, that it's eerie how similar they are.
Yeah.
So do you think they're going to pass that up if they get a chance? Or maybe they go with Drake May? We just saw this debate during the break on Get Up with
Tim Hasselbeck.
Tim Hasselbeck.
Yep.
And Hasselbeck said he believes by the end of the evaluation process, a lot of the evaluators are going to have Drake May ahead of Caleb Williams. He said he called about 10 of his games. I guess he does ACC games.
Yes, he does.
And he was saying
He loves
all
him.
the top guys we talk about in the NFL right now, Drake May has the attributes, whether it's Josh Allen, Herbert, and he was also just raving about his height. He was like, he sees everything because of his height.
It's eye of the beholder because who was the guy, the former GM of the Saints, I think, who said Drake May was.
Randy Mueller?
He said Drake May was Mac Jones. All right. So, no, I don't believe that. But, I mean, Mac Jones was a great college quarterback. Now, he was surrounded by stupid NFL talent. But, and he had a really good rookie year. But, Nick, I'm just telling you, that's not going to happen. I think they're going to draft a quarterback in one of those top picks.
I think they're going to draft a quarterback. They may try to get. It's possible they try to get a little
cute and trade down.
I could see that potentially,
I do
but
not like
trade
that
down
plan.
to the second round. Trade down to like 10. You look at everybody's needs. You look who's going for quarterback. You get 1 or 2 ahead of them, and then you get if you love.
Yeah,
One of those
he better
guys.
love like Bo Nix or McCarthy or whoever he's
right.
targeting at 10,
Where do they
12.
have Penix? Because they have Bo Nix and McCarthy there, top 5. They don't even have Penix in there.
Are you talking about Matt Miller's mock draft? I
Does he
didn't see
have him in the
Penix in the
second
top
round?
15.
Yeah,
I could
I've
check.
seen him in
That
a
championship
lot of
game
second
hurt
rounds.
his stock. Let's go to Patrick in Fredericksburg. Patrick, what's up?
Hey, everybody. So I really don't think that we're going to trade up to go to get Caleb Williams. I honestly don't think we should at all because when have you guys seen us, any team for that matter, trading up into the top few picks and that succeeding? You're automatically depleting resources. You're probably going to have to give up in this situation, multiple, top 50 picks that we have. And I just don't see that being the formula. What I do think we should do is draft Drake May or try to trade with somebody in the first, that's in those top 5 picks. Maybe New England wants to move up. If you really don't have Drake May that much higher than Jaden Daniels, then if you're trading with New England for them to go up 1 spot, then I really think that's the smartest move. And I don't think Adam Peters is going to make that same mistake with Trey Lance of trading up so much and getting all that flack. He got bailed out with Brock Purdy, but last point I wanted to make is I am still scarred from that RG3 trade. You guys remember in, I think, 2014, the Rams, marched out all their picks that they got from us for RG3, and RG3 was, benched.
Yeah.
That, to me, was the low point. So I am never for trading up because I just don't see – can you guys name a time when it's worked? I just don't know.
I know, maybe not for us, but I'm sure it has. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs got, Mahomes at 8, but I can't think of a time where somebody's traded up to the top 1 or 2 picks and it's been successful. In recent memory, I just can't.
It has to be crazy.
I think Mahomes is at 10, right? 10, and McCaffrey might have been 8 in the same draft. That's a pretty good draft, by the way.
Right.
Those guys slipped to that
All right,
point.
thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it, buddy. Listen, I understand.
You asked about Penix in this mock draft. He went 42nd in this mock draft.
It's not bad by any stretch. Plenty of second rounders.
Let me see where Jaden Daniels went in this draft. I guess it was probably top 3, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Let's go to.
I'd have to go back and look at the history of the draft.
Quarterback, I believe.
He went 3 to the Patriots.
Let's go to James in Bowie. What's up, James?
What's up, man? It's Jay in Bowie.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
It's all good. Yo, what can we do about the Wizards do about Jordan Poole? Because this is looking to be a worst acquisition ever. He's had 80 points over the last 10 games. He's gone for 7, 4, 4, and 0 in this stretch. What happened to him?
Draymond Green broke him with a punch. He became a worse player last year, and then he joined Washington and it got even worse.
But we have him for 3 more years at $25 million. I mean, is it too early for a buyout?
Well,
it's probably too early for a buyout.
I'm going to guess Will Dawkins is going to look to move him and maybe just tell the team that acquires him, hey,
we'll cover it.
We'll pay some of the freight if you take Jordan Poole off of our hands.
Man, I thought remember Lorenzo Williams back in the day? I thought that was probably the worst acquisition ever. He's got this beat by a long shot.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, man.
Lorenzo Williams, if I remember correctly, he didn't even play that much, right? He was hurt for a lot of that contract.
Well, Jordan Poole ain't either, and he's on the court.
Yeah,
he's not even scoring 16 points per game.
Thank you, James.
His last 3 games.
Why is he starting
on 3-point field goals in his last 3 games?
Why can't you bring off the bench?
He's gone 2 for 14, 0 for 3, and 0 for 4.
The fans were openly booing him last night. Boos were raining down.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Let's go to Aaron in Suitland. Hey, Aaron, you're on with the Junks.
Man, thank you guys so much. Thank you for Open Line Thursdays. Listen, before I start talking, I want you guys to know I am not a Howell fan.
Okay.
I just want the Commanders to win.
Right.
But taking that in consideration, what I have on my list, and I want you guys to try to come up with at least 11. I got maybe 7 starters coming back next year that I would pencil in. 7 out of 22. That's what I have. So what I would do is I would draft an offensive lineman the first round, right? Take some of that free agency money and get one of those top 3 offensive linemen, and then that's dealt with, okay? In terms of the quarterback, we do need a quarterback. But which area is decimated the most? Is it the DN, the linebackers, the offensive line, or quarterbacks? If we get a quarterback and put them in the same offensive line, I don't understand.
I know, but they're not going to do that.
But
they'll pick up a couple in free agency.
But we need so many. We need so many people.
It is a problem.
I know. So once again, can you guys come up with more than 11? Each one of you guys come up more than 11 people, starters from last year.
Probably not.
No.
I'd have to go back and look at the depth chart.
I would only maybe keep 3 or 4 of them.
But here's my point. If you draft a quarterback, Aaron, it's Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Aaron.
You draft a quarterback, you can still get linemen later in the draft.
They're still available.
It's not like there's only one good tackle in the draft.
That's where you trust
But
Peters.
no, not with the first pick. I would not draft a quarterback with
I know
the
you would
first
take a tackle.
pick.
I get it. But you could still take linemen. If you got 2 second-round picks, you could take linemen there. I mean, you're still going to get good players.
Right. Well, hopefully we can get everything else that we need to. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Swing for the quarterback with a high pick, and then pick your offensive lineman in the 2nd and 3rd rounds.
Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day.
What are we doing here?
It's going to take a while.
That's my point. And I tend to agree with him, not JP, that, JP thinks that, these turnarounds they happen all the time. I think this is a several year. This roster is as decimated as it's been in our 28 years of doing this.
It's not good.
It's never been this bad.
It's not good.
Okay. I don't think you're just going to draft a quarterback and then he's going to be great, and then we're just going to win automatically.
I don't think it happens automatically.
We
but
have too many holes.
I pointed out a few teams that have done it in recent years, from the Jaguars to the Colts.
I just think they're lucky.
To the Houston Texans, who had very quick turnarounds and jumped either 5 wins, 6 wins, even 7 wins.
But I'm going to also bank on
happens
Peters,
in the NFL.
Like Peters, when he picks a lineman in the 3rd round, I'm going to guess that guy's going to step in pretty quickly and contribute. Like Ron would pick these guys, and these guys would never see the field. Like, how often did Ricky Stromberg play unless he was needed because of an injury? And that was a guy you spent a relatively high pick on. I just feel like Peters is going to find better talent in every round, which is going to it's just going to reflect upon these guys actually getting on the field and contributing early. And Ron's guys just couldn't do that.
And I'm just looking at the start in 22 from last year, and it's hard to come up with even 11.
I'd be hard-pressed to find 11.
So maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. I don't know what the number is. But if you do draft a quarterback at 2, you can still get help in the later rounds. You can get linemen in the 2nd round. You can get edge rusher in the 3rd. You can get guys. You can go out and spend $80 million in cap and get guys.
I know, but they got to hit. Like we went out. I thought we did great in the offseason. I was like, we got Gates. We solved that. Everyone loves it. We got Wiley. He's not got the greatest reputation, but he's a veteran. It just didn't work.
Didn't work. And you know what? You got different people making decisions.
Well, so still got the 2 Martys there.
Well, Peters is going to be the guy.
Let's go to Anthony Calvert. Anthony, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for taking the call.
Hello.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, I think I kind of thought about my comments during my hold time, and I think the topic that everybody's missing, the board, but it's pretty, in my opinion, it's pretty not there. It's pretty obvious. How can we, whether they're fans or whether they're mouthpieces on the radio or ESPN commentators, how can you accurately assess what we have when we had, in my opinion at least, we had mismanagement, negligence, almost malpractice in coaching. So
that's fair. And Quinn talked about this. And Peters talks about it. They evaluate what they have. So they're not just going to base it on reputation. That's what they're doing every day. They're putting in work evaluating this past season and the players that they can maybe work with. EB brought up Jamin Davis the other day, for example. Dan Quinn may see that he could work with a guy like Jamin Davis and take him to another level. Or they might say, we're out on him, he's too undisciplined, whatever the case may be. They're going to look at every player on the roster and make decisions.
I agree with that 100%. I guess more to my point is the people that are prognosticating or announcing their opinions or whatever the case may be about the existing players. Like, I wouldn't keep more than 7 players. I wouldn't keep more than 11 players, et cetera.
So you're feeling defensive. You feel like there's more talent.
I do. I think that this roster, and I'm not saying it's loaded with talent by any means, but I definitely think there's 3 or 4 more wins in this roster without a doubt.
Well, the year before they're at 8-1.
Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate the call.
With a lot of the same guys, they finished 500 the season before. So there's something to be said for the team went into the tank at the end, had a coach that we all knew he was dead man walking, and nobody thought he was a good coach. So, yes, maybe they underperformed with the 4 wins and have a little bit more talent.